Okay. Welcome back. To anyone that's found this VOD and is just showing up, welcome. I'm Drew, still a ninja. I couldn't figure out how to do the YouTube thing like Twitch, and so I had to turn the stream off. It's just come back on, but anyway. So just I guess an update. We're working on stealth ops heavy arms, heavy arms, and where I like to build from the ground up, so to speak. Not really, so to speak, quite literally, actually. And so we're doing the feet. So I've done sort of the internals with gunmetal, and then we're gonna put a little bit of gunmetal on these. This rich, deep, dark blue. So yeah. Anyway, let me water. Okay. So I guess it will be its own VOD. I should sort of re-explain myself, I guess, a little bit. I'll go back through things I've already said. This is an AK interactive play markers in gunmetal. We're using this for the inner frame, base inner frame. I like these markers. They're very quick and easy. They have good adhesion, pretty durable. I mean, I put clear coat on legitimately everything that gets paint in some fashion or another. Everything gets clear coat, but still, just on its own, it's pretty durable and good stuff. It's good. I have bottles of some AK interactive as well. I prefer Vallejo. It's just kind of what I was introduced to in the beginning, and I kind of got used to it, and now I'm just kind of stuck. Not anything against any of the other hobby brands at all. I own a little bit of everything. I have I have Citadel buckets. I have Monument bottles and AK bottles and AK markers and Display markers, and I have branded GSI Krios Gundam markers, and you just been doing this for about 8 months, and you find the easiest and best tool for a job, and then you realize that it's really useful for lots of things. And so I do a lot of research and buy things one by one, but I make sure that when I buy something, it's going to be the right thing. At least I try, and so anyway, if you're new and you're just starting out, don't worry about it. You may not have a tool for every job in the beginning, but just do what you can with what you got for right now. And when you get the capital and get a little extra money, and you can buy a few extra tools, the next kit, just buy the tools for that thing you couldn't do the last time. And sorry, my marker's getting a little. I shook this before while the camera was off, but I guess maybe I didn't shake it good enough. I wasn't very thorough. Usually I shake for probably longer than I need to. I also while I'm shaking the marker, I'm constantly spinning it like this. I do it with all markers. Good practice. And normally it's not good practice to not put the cap on. especially with Gundam markers. They have very fluid ink, and you will throw it off the end. Please always put the caps on before you shake your markers. I've been using this marker for a while too, though it might literally be out of itself, and it drives me crazy that they've put this label on in such a way that you cannot see the reservoir whatsoever. They didn't leave any gap at all. Crazy to me. Anyway, so the marker might actually be dead. I might have to switch to a to hand painting. I've got a Vallejo oily steel. It's extremely close. This just has a slightly higher mica flake, aluminum flake content in it. It's a little shinier, I guess. And I was just gonna use it for tiny accents, but if I have to, I'll swap. I don't feel like going to the store. I always like going to the hobby store and having a chat with everybody, but it's day one of the stream. I'm trying to get some stuff done. I'm not trying to go to the store. Oh shit! See, yep, see. Son of a bitch. And now there's way too much on it, and it's gonna get all goopy, and I'm gonna have to clean the whole flipping nib now. Oh, it's way too. Bubbles in. Want that much? I mean, we want some inside, but it's gonna, because it's a joint, and there will be plastic on plastic here, plastic on rubber. It will rub out, and we want to put just enough in there so that the edge looks okay across the inside of the edge if you ever see that, which you really won't be able to, but just in case, you know. We don't want to fill it with paint because there will be a thing in there moving around, and we don't want to just, it'll scrape all the paint up out of there, and that's not preferable. Okay, wish me luck. Oh, that's highly unfortunate. Sorry, I'm trying to push the button and get this glob that's on the bottom of the brush nib here to go back in, but it won't. Crap. I can't leave it there. It'll become an absolute fucking nightmare. It hurts me deep inside to see wasted paint like this. It's not even, it might not even be a total drop sword, but don't like wasting things. I don't like wasting paint. So, as I said before, these are gonna get painted. They're gonna get this dark blue. Let me go put them under a sink. Oh, here, hold on. I'm so sorry. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying these off. What about a one nibber? Oh, that's perfect. I have one down here with only one nib already. Here's the answer is no. That could be solved extremely quickly. The hell? What is your major malfunction, Private Pile? Oh, you know what I bet it is. Yep. Oh yeah, that's way better. Okay. All right. Well, I think this is gonna have to be a no patter. Got a little out of there. We don't care about protecting the inside plastic. The teepees. That one's wrapped really good. We'll let him keep his tape. Okay, so I have a new toy. Just came in the mail. You're literally gonna listen to me rip open my Amazon bag. I at some point in the semi near future, I'm not sure which kit the paint will get used on first, but I'm gonna mix up my own paint. I'm going to use some legitimate, ancient, real life pigments, and gonna make my own some paint down the road. And so in preparation for that, I went ahead and picked up one of the most important things I will need later, which is the ability to mix the paint well. And so I got myself one of these. So, and you got a motor in here that sits flat. It spins this way, and got a little nibber nubber on it sticking out of the top of it on one little spot. And you press down here in the middle. It's got a little button, and it goes at 3,500 RPM and will mix my paint in seconds. No more shaky. Mostly think it's mixed, might not be. Have no idea how old it is, if it's good and mixed or not. Type of shit no more. Nope. Not no more, baby. Okay. Now, for the sake of everyone involved, including myself and my sanity, I'm going to put it closer over to the workstation, probably over to my left at some point, but for right now, I have more space on the other side of my desk, way over here, so I'm going to, just for now, I'm going to put it up over here. Also got a bag of beads, 316 carbon. But what else is in here? I don't know what I ordered several things. I don't know what didn't come. I don't know what I do and don't need at the moment. You check. Let's see. Nail polish so that I can make myself look pretty. This is it was a last minute idea to I don't know if that's significantly darker or not. God damn it, I hate buying paint on the internet. We'll be able to tell after I put it through the mixer. And some incredibly tiny measuring spoons. Mix paint when I get paint to mix. Get pigment to put in paint, so. Or maybe I don't have any plugs over there and it will have to go over here somewhere, right? This, look. Three feet, really? It barely makes it from the floor to the desk at all, dude. Oh shit. Getting old. All right. Okay, so unfortunately, well, so that is surprisingly effective. This is I ordered a bottle of oily steel from fucking Amazon, and they sent me this bottle. Now, some of you might not be able to, you know, tell the difference, but, if you can't, you know, I mean, I'm sorry, I'll go ahead and point it out for you, you know, since, you know, it's so hard to tell. This is the new fucking bottle. They started making these newer bottles, I think, in 2018, which means that at best, this is an 8-year-old bottle of paint, and I have no idea where it's been or how long it's been sitting, how it's been sitting, or where it's been sitting. I appreciate that, Amazon. Bunch of fucking dickheads. That fucking worked too. Shit. Okay, I guess it is significantly darker. Nice. I needed a win today. That's a good win. I mean, I've had several wins, but that was a good win. That was, I am extremely happy. Okay, so let's, these golden bottles, thank goodness, come with little fucking lids on them so they don't get old. God. I mean, I guess eventually it'd still get old. It would all still separate regardless because of gravity and shit, but like, at least you don't have to worry about how tight that lid was put on or, you know, exactly where it's been sitting. I don't know. It's super sketchy, and I don't remember who I even ordered it from, what storefront it was. But whoever those people are, I will not be ordering from them again because I don't appreciate getting extremely old paint. I don't think anyone does. Oh, I'm trying to fucking get the paint to go down. It's got, there's a super thin film of plastic on top. I thought it was paint at the very top against the rim. I'm trying to knock it down a little bit away from the rim. Okay, that looks anyway. So, for this 2-ounce bottle, or I'm sorry, apologize. This little 1-ounce bottle of this golden, since I can get the top completely off, I'm gonna put some beads in it. I think 3 will be good. Let's do 4. But the button is dead center, but the bottom of the bottle is not. Hard to hold this. I need to hold it at a slight angle. It can't sit like this, I don't think. I think it has to be at a slight angle, but pressing the button with it like this, I can't press straight down. It's always at this angle. So we'll try it this way. It should only take about 5 seconds, but I just don't see any hurt in letting it just do its thing. Mentioned a little earlier how I shake my markers probably more than I need to before I use them every time, and same way about this thing. I mean, I can't tell because the paint is so dark, but I'll just assume that it's. Okay. I guess I should talk about how I do paint. So if I'm gonna brush, I don't own an airbrush. I live in a very, very tiny apartment, and it would be a substantial amount of capital to invest to get all of the equipment to safely spray in here. So when I started painting Gunpla, I just decided that I would just become the best hand painter there was. And so I've been working at it for a lot of months now, and I'm getting confident enough at least to start building models on camera and selling those models to the public. So there's at least that. Anyway, so what I have found is that I tried lots of things. I started out with with dishes like this. These are like watercolor dishes. Ignore the fact that it says fuck in there. I was testing to see what the paint. Never mind. Fuck it off. Anyway, so I started with these, but I underestimated how I grew up in southern Alabama, where it's very humid and very, very hot, but it's always wet. It rains almost every day, and I just come from a very wet place, and I live in the desert now. So I just underestimated how quickly acrylic paints could go from being perfectly fine and workable to being absolute sludge in almost no time. And when you put them into something like this, something that's non-porous, it's got a big and wide, so there's a lot of, when the paint, even though you can see that I put little on it, so that when it sits at a slight angle, so that the paint will gather here. Like this. But this is still too much surface area, and especially when you have to mix the paint, right? So once you start to mix here, it starts looking good, but then you got to work your way out here. But you push liquid once you start to get out here, and the paint's thicker than the water, so it'll start to accumulate here, and then you need to get everything incorporated, so you got to push past it, but then you got to go past the edge again and again and again, and by the time you're done mixing your paint, you've hit all the edges real good, and you've mixed it like this. Now you say, well, that doesn't really matter, there's just a little film up here, but it's super thin. There's nowhere for the water to go except out and away from the paint, and it dries super fast out here, and then say a minute, 2 minutes later, or even 5 minutes, 7 minutes, but it doesn't take very long, and so you need to mix the paint up again. It's starting to separate a little, and you need the consistency. Actually, you start to mix, But now, once you get to the edge of where it's still liquid, now you're touching stuff that's starting to solidify, and now you're going to start putting in chunks back in it because it's not going to re-solidify. Once the paint has started to cross-link, the polymers, once it all starts to become plastic, you're fucked. So this is not good. This is not optimal. I wasted a fair amount of paint this way. It was really cheap. So I learned that lesson. I still use these. You can see I've still got what's sitting on my desk. I use them for other things, just not for paint. And then I experimented. So this is essentially a dry palette. And so I knew that that wasn't going to really cut it. And so I started to do some research, and I found wet palettes. And wet palettes are actually not that bad. They're just a lot of upkeep and maintenance. They need to, especially here where I live, where it's, you know, like I said, it's the desert, it's very dry. And so it's not a concern necessarily in short bursts. If I only need to paint a few, then a wet palette's fine. You know, for a couple of hours it's good. But if you need to continuously use one for hours on end, and it's just, you come into a different problem. So it's the same problem with mixing the water, this thing where I was talking about, where you want to mix it all together, but in order to get it to mix together, you have to consistently touch the edge and pull it back into itself, so you make the edge larger and larger and larger. Well, wet palettes have paper over the top, permeable material, you know, something, and that it's not flat, and it's just difficult. You end up with stuff going where you don't want it. It flows in place. Oh, also, I paint Gundam, and they are much larger than miniature, and so it's fine for someone that's just going to paint a miniature that's this big. You know, that's fine. He like 3 dabs of blue here and 1 speck over here. You can have 1 tiny drop of paint, and then put a tiny drop of thinner next to it, and then put a little thinner on your brush, put a little paint on your brush, mix it around over here, get it to the right consistency, and do. But you cannot consistently do this over and over and over and get repeatable results on an armor panel that's this big and is the exact same size as that entire miniature. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't work. It's not feasible. The wet palette, out. So eventually, I decided to go even simpler and go back to all of our childhoods and every crappy paint by numbers you've ever seen, and got some of these little buckets. And these things are absolutely peak. This is what you. So as you can see, again, once again, I put a little foot on it. Your cabinet bumpers. I just put a little foot on it, so that when it sits, all the paint will gather in the bottom edge, front bottom edge. And I've gotten good at knowing paint consistency. It took a long time. Okay, so if you're just starting out and you're watching this for and you're looking for advice or any of that, just know that you're gonna mess up a lot of paint before you get it right. But once you get it right, it's the same every time. And if you do it this way, it's infinitely repeatable, and you'll get the same result every time, as long as you use the same paint brand and type every time. So what I mean by that is you get to learn the consistency of the paint as it comes out of the bottle, and you know the consistency you're looking for. And by that point, you've acquired the tools, the proper, you know, chemicals and flow aids and, you know, the additives and things. I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you how I do it. It's really easy, but you'll have the tools to be able to thin it. And as you, in the process of experimenting with thinners and flow aids and retarders and different mediums and consistency and all this stuff on your journey, which, trust me, you're gonna say to yourself, no, I'll figure it out the first time and it'll be fine and it'll be repeatable on every single thing I ever use. No. Wildly different. Every time I buy a new bottle of something that I've never used before, it is an adventure, honestly. Figure out how to get it thinned in the exact right way. Not everything starts out the same consistent. and not everything will end the same consistency with the same steps. So you have to feel it out and experiment a little sometimes, and after a while you'll figure it out. So we're gonna be doing this dark blue. Actually, give me just a moment. Let me get up and go. Okay, so for example, I don't have anywhere to be and you don't have anywhere to be and we're just chilling and I'm going to talk about thinning paint. Okay, so love it or hate it, that's what's happening right now. I don't have any viewers, so there's no one to tell me otherwise. Vallejo is extremely predictable. Most of their colors, their paint lines are extremely similar. Well, I can't say all of them. I have actually never used Mecha Color. I haven't really touched it. It's meant to be used in an airbrush, and it's a it's got polyurethane in it, and it's meant to be extremely durable. That's what you're supposed to use for something like a Gundam kit for Gunpla, because especially on joints and things, because it's strong enough to resist the friction from plastic on plastic. But it's really thin, and it's like I said, it's meant to be used with an airbrush. So I personally have never used it. One day I'm sure. One day I'm sure I'll experiment. But the normal Vallejos normally come in model color and game color. Model color is a little heavier. It's not as durable. It's not meant to be handled. This is the name pretty much says it all. It's meant for models, so it's meant to be put on things that are meant to be put on shelves and not touched. And they assume you're gonna put some sort of a clear coat on it, probably. You obviously can leave it bare, but it's just not ideal for Gunpla, because even if it is just a collectible for you and you don't play with it like it's an action figure, you're still going to manipulate it, and you're still going to want to sorry, I keep forgetting to change my music to non-licensed music. Playing music, I have no idea if it's right or not. Anyway, I hope not. So this is what I started with. This is general use. I like this stuff. This is if I buy paint from Vallejo and I have the choice in paint line, I will go with model almost every single time, because I am going to clear coat and protect my paints no matter what, whether that's with polyurethane or just acrylic varnish. I will, in the end, it will get something on top, so it's not a concern to me about the durability of the paint there. So I like this stuff. It covers extremely well. It ends down to a great. It goes on really good. This is good stuff. Vallejo also makes game color. This is also really good stuff too. I mean, the only thing that I performance-wise, I don't have anything to say about it negatively. It's almost identical to the model color. It's called game color, and you can infer from the name that it's meant to be on miniatures that are going to be left bare. So, like 40K and stuff, you don't have a lot of, it's a lot of flesh and cloth, and so not everything needs shiny, not everything needs to have some sort of a gloss or a satin coat on it, and for that you can easily just pick up some game color. It's much more durable than the model color and is meant to be handled bare with your hands on a regular basis. So this is also good stuff. It's just a little thinner than model color. So I usually mix model color at 4 drops to 1 flow aid to get the consistency I like, and then I usually mix 5 or 6 drops of game color for 1 drop of flow aid, because it comes out of the bottle. Now, golden fluids, fluid acrylics, still absolutely fantastic. This stuff is designed to be. I mean, it's obviously meant to be. It's Golden is not a hobby brand. It is a craft brand. It is an actual paint company for painting on canvases. But the paint is, intended to be useful. And this is their line of acrylics that are meant to be thinned, and then you put it in an airbrush. So it's fluid acrylics. They are thinner than the game color. When it says fluid, it means fluid. It is quite liquidy. And for something like this, I actually don't typically. I usually put something in it to make it slightly thicker before re-thinning it, because it already starts so thin. So for something like this, I probably am going to end up putting tiny drop of. Actually, fuck, I might not be able to. I didn't even think about that. I might be fucked. Okay, we'll just thin it very slightly then. I didn't think about it. But my only satin, or the only medium I have that is flat/satin is golden with medium. So that won't help, right? Anyway, it's not super thin. We'll just put more drops in before I put a single drop of flow aid solution in there. So, fine. Let's let's. So it's. You know what? Actually, if I remember correctly, I want to say it before I put the drop out, so that I don't look like I'm going, oh well, I knew it was gonna be like that, and I was just mistaken before, and but I knew, and I was gonna say something. No, it's come to think about it. I think that this is actually not as fluid as I think it is. It is still really fluid, but it seems like the fluorescents are even runnier than the regular paints in the fluid line. So this might actually be pretty close to game color. Let's find out. Yeah, actually, that might be somewhere right in between game and mob. These drops are quite large coming out of this larger bottles. Five. Okay, so I have very little in this bottle, but this is Liquitex Flow Aid, and it's already mixed up. As the bottle says, you can see it says 20 to 1. It says 1 parts Flow Aid solution, parts water, and it's very effective. And I would say that if you have one tool besides the paint and the brushes for painting Gunpla with a brush, this is the tool. If I had this when I first started out, if I had understood the actual fluid physical mechanics of how the paint functions on a molecular level, then I would have just bought this and I would have been done with it. For the most part, I still use thinner sometimes. It has and thinner, like this is a small bottle of a portion of a very large bottle of a Micro Mark, just regular acrylic thinner, not airbrush thinner, regular thinner, which is a non-solvent. It's a chemical thinner, not a solvent thinner. So this does have its place. I have craft paints that are. Especially, I have some I bought very early on. I bought some iridescent paints, and they are the lowest quality paints I own, and they are. I don't think that the term heavy body acrylic can even begin to describe the amount of just absolute relentless surface tension this paint has. And so this will knock it down, but you have to get it thin. And this has, when we later, I plan to make a video, a comprehensive overview, a curated video, an actual video, you know, probably about an hour long, talking about the actual mechanics and how thinning paint actually works and what you should and shouldn't be doing and when you should. But for the moment, we're just, the flow aid should be fine. So this is, like I said, 1 parts flow aid to 20 parts water. We're only gonna put 1 drop in here, 1. The shaker sure does make a lot of boobles, but that's okay. So just be a mental note for later. I may end up also getting myself a sonic pad, an ultrasonic mixer. I don't. I might be showing my age. It's the same sort of a technology, the ultrasonic technology that's sort of like the bath cleaning machine at hospitals and in labs and stuff to ultrasonically clean the metal tools they use. But it's just in a pad. It looks like a coaster, like a beer coaster, and literally the only one I've ever seen was meant for beer. It was Guinness brand, and it was meant to aerate your Guinness. You poured the Guinness, and then you put it on top, and you let this thing run for about 10 seconds, and it just started to make all the bubbles in the bottom just blam to the top. And I don't even like Guinness, but if I'm gonna drink one, it had better come like that. And I was thinking about getting one of those so that I could use it to get rid of the bubbles, is what I'm saying. If I could mix it with the mixer and then set it on the other sonic pad just long enough to get the bubbles to go away, then, you know, it would be a perfect system. Don't know if that's feasible, but anyway. So it's almost impossible to. People say you want skim milk, you want this, you want that. A little too thick still, I feel. So I've got 5 drops in here right now. So I'm gonna go to I'm gonna add, if I want it to be just slightly thinner, and I'm gonna add another drop of flow aid. I know that that's gonna be way too strong. It's gonna blow out the ratio way too far, and it's gonna just become water. So we're gonna put 4 drops of paint. And then 1 more drop of flow. Okay, that's much better. Okay, so I know you can't really tell. You can't see. And I'm only going by how it flows around my stir rod here, this piece of sprue that I'm using. It's subtle. It still moves like paint. Want it to move like paint? Want it to be thin, and you want the surface to be good and flat, and you want it to flatten instantly. You don't want it to have any ability to hold any degree of shape whatsoever. You want it to immediately become flat. I'll say skim milk. I prefer a slightly thicker liquid. I think it's a little closer to heavy cream that's been warmed close to boiling. So which won't be as thin as skim milk. It will never flow like that, but it's thicker. It's like, if you make the paint too thin, you'll have to put 17 coats on it, is all I'm trying to say. You want it to be so thin that it behaves the way you want, which is you're still going to put down ridiculously thin layers. you're gonna put almost no paint on the model. Every time you put paint on the model, want what you put down cover what it can cover. This is hard to explain, but like I said, when I make a real video about it, I will show examples of all these things and the consequences of your actions if you fail to do it properly. For the moment, fine. I want to get some paint on some plastic. I really like these Princeton Velvet Touch flat shaders. They are, in my opinion, I have 3 separate ones. I've got them in 3 sizes. But don't let me give you the impression that this is an Artist Loft's Roma series, another synthetic. This is my 20-0 flat shader. Anyway, they when you're first starting out, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it so much. Go to Amazon or somewhere and you're looking at brushes. There's going to be 7,000 different things being thrown around at you all at once. It's going to be, it's stable, it's Taclon, it's nylon, it's this, it's that, it's soft, it's firm, you want the brush to be stiff enough that when you bend it, it resists. Don't want, really hard to describe what's too stiff, what's not stiff enough. Okay, so these are perfect. I can't stress enough. If you've got the money, if you can afford it to go to the hobby store, or go online and order some of these individually, I would say do it. They're about $15 a piece. But if not, I am putting no pressure. You can see it barely move, and it's fighting me. It really doesn't want to go over. And down here is still, I'm pressing the tips, but the base is not going anywhere. They come right back. They're really nice. They're not too stiff, but they are stiff. This is an example of a really soft nylon. This is I think it was advertised as black Taclon, but fucking stupid shit. But these are just really cheap China fucking brushes. You can see how cheap they were. They're so cheap that the ferrule fell away. I put glue in and I had to crimp it to get it to stay on. But this is too soft. These are bristles. Just they're too soft. They're nice. They have spring because they're not ruined, but they're too soft. What happens is when you get the brush the way it's supposed to be oriented, this is an angle, the way, hold on, give me a second. This is a I don't know what they actually call it. It's just an angle, I think. The way the way this is meant to be, take it and you place it like this, and it creates a drop. But the problem is once you get, even if it's a flat, this flat sits like this. Anyway, if they're too soft, the paint doesn't, but it dumps paint, and when too much paint gets out, it doesn't have anywhere to go, and it can't get back in because they're too soft and they spread too far, so the wicking gets all fucked up, and then you end up plowing a rim around the back side of the brush that's goop, and when you finish the line, it has nowhere to go, so it piles on the back and then out away from the edges, and you end up with these thick rims down the side of your brush line. Excuse me, I apologize. Text message. Getting brushes that have this quality is actually not that hard, and you can get entire sets of them in various sizes for very little money. And if you're just starting out, I actually highly recommend you do that, because honestly, when you first start out, I guarantee you won't know how to take care of the brush, and you will ruin it. And if you spent $15 on a brush and you ruin it, you're going to be really upset. But if you spent $15 and got 20 brushes, you will not be upset when you hurt one of them. So just keep that in mind. I like these brushes, though. They are beautiful. So let's talk about primer. I find that if you wash your plastic, that it isn't, and you plan to put a clear coat over it. Your end goal is to protect it with some sort of a barrier, an actual protective layer. Then I would say that honestly, I when I first started painting and I didn't have any idea what I was doing, technique has a lot to do with whether your paint will stick, I feel. You know, there's this big stigma where the plastic's too and this and that, but it's not mirror smooth. This plastic is not meant to literally be a flat sheet. I mean, it's molded that way. The molds don't have a little groove. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you need that microscopic tooth, is what they call it, for the paint to grab. And everyone's always afraid that this plastic is going to be too smooth, that it's going to come off. And in my experience, that is not the case if applied properly and protected by an actual protective layer. My personal preference is to use polyurethane, which is extremely durable and shrinks as it dries. So it literally, if the paint is thinking about coming away somewhere, once the polyurethane gets on there and literally shrink wraps against it, it's never coming away. you're gonna be fine. Polyurethane is so strong. I have messed up with it before and had to get it off of something. Please pray you never have to be in that position. Okay, so I take almost no paint. That's not almost no paint each time. And I want to put almost no paint down. These are extremely large, flat panels. And your goal is not get coverage on your first try or your first coat or any of that. Your goal is get paint on the model. We were just talking about that tooth, the microscopic tooth. And you'll get that with the first layer, no matter how thick or thin it is. Your goal is to not get any physical brush strokes. Now you can see the strokes. You can see where my brush has gone. There's no way around it. You see, the paint has been thinned. It's in the right consistency, and this is how it covers with that little amount of paint that I put on the brush. And it's going to look like that. But if I shift to an angle where you can see the sheen, you see that there are no brush stroke lines. There's no physical raised edges, and the ones that are there are so small that after 4 layers of paint, you'll never know they're there. Your goal is to put just enough paint down every time, and this is every coat. This is not just the first coat. It's every coat. But you're not trying to just slap paint onto the model. This is not a fast process. This is not one and done. I'm going to be here for a while. If you choose to follow me in this, endeavor, you will be here for a good long while whenever you do this, and it just takes patience. Just take it slow. Do a good job. Make sure you're I don't know how to describe it, but it's a bunch of very easy steps, individual steps. They're all very easy, but if you mess up any of them along the way, it will ruin the whole thing. So just take your time, do it right, don't rush. Okay, so let's talk about how to put. So you've noticed that I got paint onto the brush, but I didn't touch it to anything. I didn't dab it. I've still got a fair amount of this like glob here on the brush. And so obviously if I was gonna start, if I had a corner I needed to be in, I wouldn't want to start in the corner with this glob because it's gonna glob into the corner, and that's not good. So I usually start away from any edges, and I put paint in the center, and then I spread that paint out nice and I'm actually going to put a drop of retarder in this. It is drying beyond fast. We were just talking, I live in the desert. I spoke before about how it is just insanely dry, and paint, especially acrylics, they're already dry really quickly, and so it can actually be a nightmare sometimes to get the paint to stay open. Now, if I wanted the finish on the paint to be glossy, and I wasn't going to put a clear coat on it for whatever reason, or if the paint is already glossy, I tend to use glazing liquid instead. It's a little bit, it's essentially medium with retarder in it already, and it's at a pretty thin and it's you always, I don't know how much anyone cares about ratios, but you can't put too much straight water into your paint. Can't over the polymers just break down, they can't get together, and the paint just fails. So glazing liquid is good for being a flow dry additive, but it's also medium so that you can put it into very small amounts of paint and not ruin the overall ratio. Because once paint gets about past 40% water, it essentially fails. Don't want that. Welcome, whoever's here. Welcome. Glad you're here. I'm Drew. Welcome. I see that people are just kind of popping in and leaving and popping in and leaving. They don't know what the hell's going on in here. That's all right, because I barely know what's going on. Anyway, chemically, the slow dry just attaches itself to the water molecules and literally retards their ability to evaporate as quick. So, handy stuff, handy stuff. Oh, did I have it all fucked up? I had been unplugged up. Great. There were viewers, and I didn't reset my chat window, and it didn't occur to me that I needed to do that. So if anyone had been talking to me, if you showed up and you were talking to me, and I didn't respond, I am the asshole. And if you're watching this later, I don't know why you would, because I'm an asshole now. But I'm sorry, and please come back. I fixed it. Uh, Welcome. Hello. I'm Drew. Glad you're here. This is a solution, a 1% solution of a surfactant known as Urgitol 15S9, and it is used in museums. It's essentially the best soap on the planet for as far as soap that won't damage the things it's trying to clean. Great stuff. All right, look, so this is not good. Okay, it's the very first layer, so it's not a big problem. But I put down paint, and then I took too long to get back over here to spread it. And you can see that it has left the ring here. And you see, yes, okay, so right here. And that would be, it's fine now. It's not a big deal. It'll get covered up when the other layers go on top. But if that happens on, say, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, you're going to end up, I guarantee you're going to end up finishing the paint job, and you're going to have to come back with something really fine grit, like 3,000, 4,000 grit sandpaper, and get that ridge to go away so that it'll look good, because you'll be able to see it for sure. No matter what finish you put on it, from the right angle, you'll be able to see the ridge, and you don't want that. You don't want that. Was that not enough retarder? Am I going out of my mind? I don't know what I'm doing anymore? Hell. It is flipping hot though, so. Hot in the desert. Hot in the desert. Oh boy, is it hot in the desert. Hot in the desert. Okay, and if you get, okay, so right here next to this ridge here, there is a small puddle. Can you tiny spot here? One down in here. Okay, so the paint is smooth. Got a little bit of a puddle where there's just a slight, just a little. Do not touch it. Your first instinct will be, oh, it's a little too wet. I'll wick up the paint a little bit and just over. It'll be fine. No, this. Remember when I created that little rim on the other piece with that little skin, where it had started to dry, and then I had touched it and it left that rim. It will do the exact same thing, except it's going to be even worse with a spot like that. Resist your urge. I know that it's hard. I know you want to fix it. Just leave it alone. It most likely won't be a problem. If it is, you can always sand it down and put another coat down if you need to. But you will make it much worse than this, than just a little extra paint in one spot. If you try to put the brush back to it, it will screw it up badly. It's not an outcome you want. Look, and I'm down if we're making mistakes. Everyone's gonna make mistakes. Everyone's gonna screw up. Everyone's gonna do something they're not supposed to do, and that's how learning works. So you know, your instinct is gonna say, no, you can get it. Don't worry about it. Put your brush right there. Just rip it. And I'm telling you, the first time you're gonna do it, and you're gonna see the outcome, and you're gonna go, yep, fucking Drew. He told me. I didn't remember that he had told me until I'm looking at the aftermath, and he had told me. He told me not to fuck with it. Trust me. A lot of the times, leaving a small mistake and then coming back to touch it up later is easier and takes less time than to try to fix it while the mistake is being made, because the mistake is often made worse. So, just when you do edges like this, go from the open area across the occupied area, and if it is like this is easy because you know when you pull across and then you can pull off here because it's a nice sharp angle, but here is going to be a lot harder. This angle is not nearly as sharp, and so I want to have the brush come off the open, come across, but I want to try to approach it with the same angle so that I can lift up here just before the ridge so that I don't end up with too bad of a line here. You can just, like, I just feather it out just a little bit and you'll be fine. If you do it the other way, if you start here and pull into the open, you leave a starting glob here, and it's just trust me. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Oh, all right. Might need some caffeine here in a minute. Yeah, let's do. God, I love caffeine. It makes my ADHD happy, only for just a little while. Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome. I'm Drew. Glad to have you. Taking a small intermission at the moment. Had to get some caffeine. Gonna breather here for a minute. My paint had to be retarded a little bit, so it needs to sit for another maybe a minute or two before I go for round number 2. So how are you? I don't know who you are. You didn't respond when I said hello the first time, but I'll talk to you. How's life? How's everybody? Darn. Lost another one. Oh, what if I, Oh, why would you open it in... Asking too much. All right. Number 2. That was way too much paint. God. Got it to lay down flat, but I still feel like it's too much paint. Not gonna be good. Not be good. Oh. Might as well let it happen. Something bad happens, that'll give me something to talk about. Talk about how I plan to fix it, how to not make that. Well, the obvious mistake was putting way too much fucking paint. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a problem. But it's already started to dry, and I know for a fact that if I go to it to see, I've already got a small circly bubble coming here, and I know I'm gonna end up with a goopy line here. Son of a bitch. But if I touch it, the little amount of repair I have to do now will only be made 100 times worse, and I will need to go strip the piece probably and start completely over. Which, I mean, at this point wouldn't be a huge, it's not a big deal, but it's not ideal. Oh, maybe it's gonna be okay. I know what's happened. I didn't remix the. That's why it's too liquidy and a little unruly. Hello, hello. I actually have only I only had previously used the golden fluid acrylics for the what is the word I'm looking for? Fluorescent paint. So I was actually not in those, and I've only put fluorescence, on accents and stuff. I had no idea that the finish was actually so glossy. Getting there. Mm. Hello?
I see you're still on Discord.
Hello? I am. What are you doing?
I'm eating a jumbo muffin.
A jumbo muffin?
It's double chocolate.
Of course it is. I'm on stream, so you don't have to be specific, but is your tummy better?
Kind of. I've been very gassy. Andrew insisted on taking his lunch before me, despite acknowledging that, one, I got here before him, and not only that, but Serena let me clock in early, and he showed up almost 30 fucking minutes late.
Sorry.
It's not your fault. But, I had to do my self-review. We have to do it every fucking year, and I hate it because it's like, I don't know what to write.
Right either.
But I did that. It took me like 3 hours to do because I kept getting interrupted by people wanting passports, or just picking up photos, or doing FedEx, even though I didn't have a fucking zebra. And there were a ton of photo orders when I came in. And once I finally did do it, I went into the back so I could start OSA, so working my red carts, any overstock that could go back onto the floor because it's no longer overstock. But came to find that my truck still had not been finished. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess I'm doing that first. So I did that, did my red carts. I've been working on my scan outs. In fact, I'm almost done. I just have Revlon and CoverGirl left. And then I'm done. I've done my skincare, I've done my sun care, I've done all the cares, all my hair shit.
All the cares and all the hairs?
I even, for all the tabs in my manicure that don't have a barcode, or the barcode misprinted, so it doesn't have the full code, I manually typed each and every single one of those to mark them out.
Here to tell you, that sounds extremely fun, baby. Can't believe I'm here painting models instead of working with you. I would be just going out of my mind with all the excitement you guys get up to. I love you.
I love him.
Are you my viewer?
Hmm?
That are you the one that's in the stream right now?
I don't have YouTube open, but I can open it.
Oh no, there's something.
'Cause
Never mind, they're gone now.
I went to check and I saw the one you ended earlier. The one from this morning.
Oh, well, I couldn't figure out how to set the fucking like category in the other things, and so I turned it off so I could figure it out. I thought I might need to be offline to set the shit for the fucking. I turned it off and turned it back
So
on. It wasn't off
do
very
you need
long.
help?
It wasn't off very long. No, I figured it out.
Okay. I will mention I can hear myself on your stream.
Yeah. Yeah? What do you mean?
Like I went and opened up YouTube and I could hear myself on it.
Yeah. Maybe that's how desktop audio works. Everything that's coming out of my computer is being played back through the stream. That's how it works.
I'm not a fan of that.
If I want to set it up in such a way that I have different sliders, one for every single application opened, I guess I could, but I don't know off the top of my head how to do that. But yeah, I mean, I could have literally a volume slider for slap everything, and then I could turn Discord off. But if I'm having a conversation that's really rude for the other people watching the stream to not be able to hear the conversation, that's. Welcome, dear viewer. Sorry, we're literally waiting about 4 or 5 minutes for paint to dry before I can put another coat down. So we're just vibing.
Vibing.
Need to get some initial progress made in that the idle game I've got, that idle RPG, so that I can put it up in a corner somewhere and let it play itself, and then when I have to take breaks like this and there's not really anything to do for several minutes, at least there would be a small window that has little moving people running around and slapping monsters in it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I plan to do it. I'm just not far enough into the game yet to like be able to just tell it to go and then walk away and then come back, you know, an hour later in between paint coats or whatever, you know. So one day though, soon. I'll do it one day.
If I mention how obscene I feel it is that YouTube doesn't allow you to block accounts anymore. So like if you have someone like harassing or anything, it's just like you gotta suck it up. Like they're gonna be able to access your account, like go to your YouTube channel and stuff, comment and everything. Maybe that's a very hot take. Maybe it's a cold take. I don't know.
I don't know, you're pretty hot. Hey, do you have acetone?
I don't remember if I have acetone. I'll wait at that too. If I do, I think it's in my mom's.
How do you clean your nails off then when you paint your nails?
I've been scraping them. Or I wait for the polish to just like chip off. I've been lazy.
Bye bye. Damn, nothing? Not even a little bit? Well, I tried the lighter fluid on my nail polish. It said fuck you.
Oh, rip.
Can you bring home a bottle of acetone?
I don't have money, but yeah.
You don't have money?
No. I have like 50 cents.
Okay, I'll come.
No.
I'll come get you, and I'll pick one up while I'm there.
Okay.
It's 7, right?
I lied. I have money on my Venmo. Why do I have money on my Venmo?
Maybe someone owed you money. Who's the last person who sent it to you?
That's what I'm looking for. It's from Katie.
Ah, what did she send you money for?
She sent me $5 back in December because I was complaining about the washer eating my money. I tried giving her money back and she said no, with an angry face and a heart. Mewtwo glasses.
You know what one of my favorite things about the human race is?
Be careful about what you say.
That we always put allergy warnings on things, and they're always super obvious, and it doesn't make any sense. External use for nails only, and do not use on skin, especially on allergic skin. Well, no fucking shit, dumbass. Like, who did? Why would you even need to say that? Stupid. If any allergic or burnt reaction occurs, wash your nails immediately. No, I'm just gonna leave it on there. It insinuates that this nail polish might actually be flammable. Maybe I could pull a cool magic trick and like set my nails on fire.
All nail polish is flammable.
Okay, specifically the warning says, keep away from heat, flame, or sunlight.
Yeah.
Wonder why you would want to keep it away from sunlight. Not like it's UV curing or anything.
No, but the sun can essentially bleach the coloring. But so can certain lightings. And then, of course, since they're usually in a glass bottle, depending on how magnified it is onto the bottle, it can combust. So the bottle would explode and it would all catch fire.
Sounds fairly awesome.
I don't know. No. Benadryl is worn off.
Sorry, my love.
Both the ointment and the tablet.
Is there anything I can do?
No.
Did you know that I love you?
Did you know I love you?
Oh?
Yeah. Wow. Your light turned off on me.
For you two still?
Yeah. Also, there's a fire extinguisher between me and the sensor.
Okay, so did my first coat at basically random, but it was mostly this way. I did my second coat this way. So hard to see. Still see direction. I've been going into when you,
Mhm.
oh God. paint is so glossy. Almost unruly. Honestly. Glossy paints that are dark are a nightmare. A nightmare.
Oh, we'll click back in.
Bye-bye. I love you. Corner, but whatever. Ah. No, this is high grade heavy arms. PV heavy arms. Those are his feet. Those were red. We're making a we're doing Shinobi Style. He's gonna be ready for a stealth mission after this. Sorry, Sky Hobby. I was painting. I didn't get to your chat in time, and now you're gone. I hope to see you again. I hope you come back. I hope that I didn't deter you. I hope that you come back tomorrow, and then you come and watch this VOD in 6 months. Just curious as to the very first stream, and you go, oh man, I'm the asshole. But you're not. You're not. I was the asshole. I hope to see you again though. Oh. Watching paint dry. It is one of my all-time favorite hobbies. I do it all the time. I feel like there are three distinct hobbies within inside of Gunpla. You have buying plastic, you have painting plastic, and you have waiting for the paint to dry. That is are the three hobbies. Because if you don't enjoy all three, you're going to be really messed up. That's all I'm saying. I don't enjoy waiting for paint to dry. I must say that, but I understand. All right. Okay. I just noticed that the timer for Discord says I've been in here for a total of 7 hours today. I know that this stream has only been going on for about 3 hours or so, but this one plus the other one from earlier, you know, that's a fair amount of time. I didn't get a whole lot of actual painting done today, which I sort of apologize for, but you know, my friend was here and we were playing games, so you know, it is kind of what it is. Yeah. Find something. I hope that everyone watching in the future, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope life's treating you well. And if it's not, remember, head up to get better. I'll be back tomorrow, bright and early, one more again. Alright, I'm Drew, and I will still be a ninja when you guys get back.